Let's go, Meat Boy. And shout out Debbie Erosa. Appreciate you grilling and chilling with us from day one. I mean, I can remember back to early 2020 Meat when Meat Boy MMA had only 3 subs, right? Meats Burner, Boys Burner, and Debbie Erosa. So shout out Debbie Erosa for truly being an OG meathead. And shout out to our latest subs, Esau Maheda and Bren Dangs. We appreciate you and the 584 other sweaties that have been growing chill with Meat Boy MMA, taking all these locks to the grill. So appreciate you guys as always. And if you're new here, he's Meat on Boy. Grill that slab if you're looking for locks and laughs. And it's another absolute meat lock in this one as Juicy J, our boy Julian Erosa, is taking on Alex Caceres, aka Bruce Leroy. And what can you say about Juicy J? I mean, this is a guy who's won 5 of his last 6 fights. He's been an underdog in all of those contests except the one against Steven the Ocho Peterson. And ironically enough, that was probably his closest fight. It was a split decision win for Julian, a fight that maybe was a little bit closer than we had expected, but nonetheless, an easy win for, no, I shouldn't say easy, but another win for Julian Erosa. And then most recently, I think, and most impressively, was when he absolutely smoked Hakeem Dawodu. Dawodu came in overweight, and it didn't even matter. Julian Erosa took 20% of his purse and took 100% of his soul because he absolutely smoked Hakeem Dawodu. You and I'm convinced, we're the only ones in the MMA fight pick space that were all over that one. All the expert gurus I had checked in with were picking Hakeem Dawodu and taking him all the way to the bank, but we saw Juicy J as a plus 200 dog and had to seize on that opportunity because Julian Erosa is beating everyone. He's going up there against super tough guys and is finding ways to get the job done. I mean, it's not bums that he's beating. He took out Charles Jourdain. He finished him in a 3rd round of a very close back and forth fight, but against a guy in Charles Jourdain who is always game. He's always in tough contests against tough dudes, and I thought that was just a beautiful win for sure. And then what he was able to do to Nate Landwehr, right? The famous, I wasn't out, but he was out cold on his feet, and just another beautiful statement finish for our boy Juicy J. And we think he's going to do more of the same in this one against Bruce Leroy, who you got to give Bruce Leroy some credit, right? He had won 5 straight, picked up some wins, but if you really dissect those names, I mean, it were guys that he probably should have beaten, right? Chase Hooper, not great. Austin Springer, not sure who that is. Kevin Kroom, and then Sung Woo Choi most recently, and we don't quite yet know how good Sting actually is. So a great win streak. Anyone who can win 5 straight in the UFC is worthy of a pat on the back, but it did come to a quick halt when he ran into Sadiq Youssef, and that fight was start to finish not very close. So do you think that there's any chance? I mean, we're obviously meatlocking Erosa for a reason. Any threats Bruce Leroy going to bring, or do you think that Erosa, just given the recent competition, given how both guys have been looking lately, is just going to be a little bit too much for Caceres? And then I also am curious, Meat, do you think that Juicy J is going to get a finish in this one?
Yeah, no, this is a great matchup, and once again, shout out to Deb. Big fan, and I feel like she's part of the channel at this point. She's a family friend of the channel, and can't wait to have an absolute meat lock because her kid Juicy is going to absolutely destroy Bruce Leroy. And I don't think Bruce has anything that Julian hasn't come across or will have difficulty overcoming. I mean, if you look on pen and paper, the matchups that they've been fighting, you look at Alex's side, all of his resume, the last 5-6 fights. Look at Julian's last 5 fights. It's not even close. Julian's fighting way tougher fighters, and he's looking absolutely amazing. I think he's going to get a KO early and often, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets a submission. I think Julian Erosa is better everywhere from top to bottom, from grappling, striking, cardio, durability, strength, everything. He's going to decimate Alex Caceres. Once again, this is a fun fight. This is going to be, possibly fight of the night also, so I'm very excited. Cannot wait, and I think this is going to be a long, brutal night for Bruce Leroy. I think the finish will end in the 3rd round, maybe even a decision. Bruce is pretty tough, but I don't know. Juicy's been on another level, and I think he's just slowly peaking, getting better and better, and the competition he's been decimating is only getting better and better. And then UFC throws him a free layup, and so now we're here with another free meat lock.
It's a pretty meat lock for sure, and one that, of course, we just absolutely need to capitalize on. And I like your call that perhaps Erosa can emerge with a submission because although Caceres is pretty durable, he's very difficult to put out with strikes. He's a guy who has been submitted. I mean, we know that Crone Gracie was able to submit him. No one's seen Crone Gracie since he did so, but nonetheless, he did get a submission victory over Bruce Leroy. And then Jason Knight was another one to be able to do so, aka Hick Diaz. So it's possible that Erosa can do that same thing that those gentlemen did for sure. And if we look over at Tapology, 77% is rolling with Juicy J, 23% is rolling with Bruce Leroy, and it's basically beige on both sides. I think that a decision is most likely, and I can see that for sure. I mean, if Erosa is not able to get that submission, then perhaps he's able to just be a little bit more slick, be a little bit more diverse as far as the skill sets that he brings, and maybe mix in some takedowns, maybe some clinch work, pin him up against the cage. Use his strength, I think, could be a big factor here because Juicy J is going to be the longer guy, the taller guy, and I think he's going to be the stronger guy, and it's going to be evident in this contest against Bruce Leroy. So we're going to be throwing down 255. It's going to net 150 at minus 170 Erosa odds. Should get us our 5th straight meat lock, our 67th overall. And again, we're approaching that century mark. We want to continue this hot streak that we are on, especially heading into the new year and the new Meat Boy season. So we think that Erosa is going to be the one to continue the trend for sure. I'm taking Erosa. I'm going to go by decision, however. I think that maybe Bruce Leroy does survive this thing. So any last thoughts? Can't wait for this one.
Yeah, no, this is a fun fight. Throw in the comments, are you riding with the Meatlock boys or not? Throw in the comments who you take in and let us know. And make sure to smash subscribe, like, and turn the notification bell so you don't ever miss a Meatlock.